Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Birmingham Bible Church. Winning Wednesday, we are so glad that you can join us here on today from wherever you are. We are so glad that you can join us. And so on today, we claim the victory over Satan. We claim the victory over everything that is in our lives. We thank you so much for joining us. Whether I don't care where you are a winner. You are a winner no matter what is going on in this country, no matter what is going on in your finances, no matter what is going on in your bank account, no matter if you had to go to 5 gas stations and get some gas on yesterday, you are still victorious. And so we just want to welcome everyone and thank you for joining us on today. We are Facebook Live. We are also on YouTube under BHAM Please subscribe to that channel. And we are on Twitter under James Mason 1. And so today we have a great topic, of course, on Winning Wednesdays at 12 noon. We like to give everyone just some information about what is going on in our lives, in our country. And so today we have Miss Rochelle Wallace. She is with a UAB, O'Neill Comprehensive Cancer Center. And so we're so glad she's joining us on today. She informed me that this Sunday, May the 16th, is No Menthol Sunday. And I never knew anything about no menthol. Actually, it was started by, I believe it's the Black Center of Equity. She can correct me on that. But they really want to partner with faith leaders and partner with pastors around this country just to get people to stop the tobacco addiction. She's going to tell us what that's about, what that looks like. Didn't know that tobacco was the #1 killer among African Americans. And so she's going to give us some great information on that. So I ask that you share this broadcast with someone. We ask that you tell somebody, to text somebody just about this great information so that our people can continue to live, not only our people, all people as well. And so thank you, Miss Rochelle, for joining us on today. How are you?
I am excellent. Thank you so much for having me today. How are you?
I am doing great, doing good.
That is wonderful. I'm glad to be here with you today, working from the office today because everyone's getting all geared up for this Sunday, for the No Menthol Sunday initiative. So we are just thrilled to have you all to join us in this effort. So I appreciate this opportunity to come with you today.
Yes, ma'am. And thank you so much. And so I just made you a co-host. Do you have a screen to share?
I have a few slides, and let's see if we can get that going. Hold on, I'll get things set up here. But I do appreciate this opportunity again. And if you don't mind, what I would like to do is actually, let's see if we can get it right here. This is what we want to do. I would like to share some of the things that we do have going on for May, and then we'll lead right on into that.
That sounds great.
So let's see. Are you able to see?
Yes, ma'am. Perfect.
Okay, so you can see the May Health Initiatives.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so again, thank you so much for having me, and I'm gonna kind of run through this. And like I was telling you, we're just gonna share a little bit of information. I won't be long on it, but always, whenever we get an opportunity to share with you all on your Winning Wednesdays, I always like to bring out some topics that we think are going to be of interest and of use to your congregation as well as the community at large. So, for the month of May is Women's Health Month. So in addition to what we have going on with the No Menthol initiative, I wanted to bring that out, and we like to remind the women. We realize in May, many churches and households of faith, they may host women's conferences and that type of thing. So we want to make sure that we encourage everyone to reach out to the women in their lives and encourage them to get their mammograms, their pap tests, and that kind of thing. And Lady Pam, I think you guys are signed up and got some information on that to share with the people, the women of your congregations. So we always like to try and make sure we get these messages out. One of them being specifically about the mammograms. We like to try to always encourage the people, understanding that mammogram is the gold standard when it comes to breast cancer screenings. And so we just want to encourage that, and remembering that age guideline is normally 40 years of age, but it can be younger than that if there's a family history or anything like that, or if you're at a higher risk for breast cancer. Certainly you can speak with your physician and get clearance to have a mammogram at an earlier age than that. Also, even with the PAP and the HPV test, don't confuse that with HIV testing or anything. That's the HPV. And I think we may have discussed that one time before. That's human papilloma virus. The HPV testing, it can let us know if there is any sign of the HPV virus there, the human papilloma virus, which can lead to some precancerous cells and can lead to cervical cancer. Now we have an HPV vaccine that can actually deter cervical cancer, can deter those growth from the HPV viruses within a person. So we want to make sure that we are encouraging everyone to get that HPV vaccine, get your HPV testing done, and certainly get the PAP testing done so that they can detect if anything's going on in the cervix area. So we like to really recommend that, and also want to just make sure that people understand cervical cancer is preventable. This is a preventable cancer. You know, who would ever thought you could hear those two words in the same sentence? This is a preventable cancer. So we always want to encourage people to make sure that they're speaking with their doctor about that, especially at the age of 25. I think there have been some changes through the prevention task force that age may have even been lowered to as low as 21 years of age. So certainly speak with your physician, ladies, about this testing. And also, May is Brain Tumor Awareness Month. This is another one of our impact cancers here at the O'Neal Comprehensive Center, O'Neal Comprehensive Cancer Center. I had to get all of that out correctly. And I'm here in the Office of Community Outreach and Engagement. This is one of our impact cancers. It was newly added. Previously, we had focused on breast cancer, lung cancer, prostate cancer, cervical, and colorectal. Here within the past year or so, maybe year and a half, we have added multiple myeloma as well as brain tumor awareness. So we added these because there is a higher rate in multiple myeloma among African Americans. It's twice as high in the African American community as it is in other communities. And brain tumor, we treat up to like about 70% of those diagnoses within our state. They'll come to UAB here and receive treatment for that. So we like to bring out awareness about that. And here at the O'Neal Comprehensive Cancer Center, they have been for over 30 years been successfully treating cancers here at the center. So we like to bring that out as well. And just a little bit of information on brain tumors. Normally, there are some similar symptoms. And so we try not to put it out there so that people are not just worrying unnecessarily, because you can, with brain tumors, there may be symptoms that are just everyday occurrences, you know, a nagging headache, or maybe a little nausea or dizziness or something like that. And those things alone may not mean anything other than, just a headache or whatever. But what happens is sometimes when they begin to see some of those symptoms coupled together, then normally these things are found, brain tumors, they're found during regular checkup and screenings with their doctor. So that's the way that we like to recommend that. Just make sure you're having your regular screenings done with your physicians, because actually with these things, for brain tumor detection and screening, unlike with a mammogram or breast cancer, we'll tell you go get a mammogram, or for colonoscopy, for colorectal cancer, there is no specific screening guideline that we can suggest for this. So we normally just like to try to encourage people to make sure you're seeing your doctor on a regular basis. And then always acknowledge and let them know if there's anything unusual that's going on, so that they can then further determine if there's anything additional that would need to be done. also wanted to make everyone aware that we will be offering a free webinar on brain tumor basics this month. So I will definitely get you that information, Lady Pam, but here's just one of the flyers that we have for that event. It's a free event, but you do have to register to attend. We have one of the leading physicians in this area who's going to be speaking on this subject matter, Dr. Bert Neighbors. He's a physician here at UAB. And you can register by simply going to go.uab.edu/brain cancer. And I will make sure that you have this, Lady Pam, so that you can have that registration information for anyone that has any questions.
Great, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So we just thank you so much again for this opportunity. Now we'll move on to the No Menthol Sunday, this great event. So we are certainly excited to have you guys on board with us this time and sharing with us, sharing this information. So we really look forward to actually having this event on an annual basis. We are actually partners with the Center for Black Health and Equity, and promoting this is actually an international initiative at this point. And No Menthol Sunday, it was actually launched in the beginning. They did it with faith-based organizations and churches, just trying to get them to just partner with them to bring the educational awareness on the detrimental effects of tobacco use, specifically in the African American community. And just last year, even during COVID, that was my first time actually participating in this initiative with them. We were able to actually launch out even past only churches because everything had to be done virtually. So they actually opened it up to different organizations. There were even community centers, if you, a person in business for themselves, because everything was done virtually. So actually what that allowed more organizations the opportunity to help to get the word out. So while it's called No Menthol Sunday, we, really broaden the horizon and now allow people of all walks of life, all businesses, and all faiths to be able to join this initiative. So this year it's going to be held on May the 16th, and the theme is a new day. Forget the things that are behind us, because a new day is upon us. Tomorrow's in the past, and today brings a fresh start. So I really like that part when they were putting everything together. Their actual they have this is a theme, and they utilize a theme scripture out of Isaiah 43rd chapter. And it's just, this has been such a rewarding experience for me. Like I said, this is my second time actually participating in it. And on last year, I've learned some things even from last year, and saw some of the growth and some of the victories that they've experienced. We know some people may have heard about the ban on menthol being approved last year and that kind of thing. And these are some of the things that they like to promote with the No Menthol initiative. It allows us to raise the consciousness about the importance of the issues that are found within the Black community, especially. We notice that African American men, they have one of the highest rates of lung cancer in the US and that kind of thing. So, and just a myriad of things. And I'm sure you may have been able to download some of the materials, or at least take a look at it, and you can see where they talk about how the menthol flavored cigarettes and that kind of thing, it just really, it makes it easier to start. And one of the things, and I've gotten so far ahead of myself already, I've not advanced the slide in probably the past 5 minutes. I apologize, but just some of the things that these are, it really creates a passion in you once you kind of see some of the things that are that it affects, and especially within your very own communities. So I want to kind of pause for a moment and then allow you to ask if there's anything, because I know I went right on from the initiatives on to this. So if we need to slow down for a minute, let me know.
No, you're fine. You're great. This is awesome. And thank you for integrating the May Health initiatives. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. And I apologize because I started going and thought, oh my goodness, let me stop here for a minute and get us back on track with everything. But let me move to my next slide where I've already gotten past that. But as we said, yeah, it is presented by the Center for Black Health and Equity and everything. And I did mention that, why we wanted to do this and what it is and what this opportunity actually presents for the households of faith. And getting back to what we were just talking about with the why, hosting the No Menthol Sunday, because smoking kills annually about 47,000 African Americans per year, smoking alone. And that in itself, it causes, and let me say this, lung cancer itself is the number one cause of cancer-related deaths, period. Whether that's African American or not, it is the number one cause of cancer related deaths. Now, then, of course, you'll have women who have breast cancer as a leading, and men have prostate as a leading. But overall, when you talk about deaths, you're looking at lung cancers overall for both men and women, regardless of the race. And when there's about 80% of lung cancer diagnoses are linked to smoking directly. So this is something that you definitely want to make sure that we're addressing. And why the no menthol? Well, the menthol flavor, as we mentioned before, menthol will make it easier for a person to start and harder for them to quit. When you start talking about things such as vaping and all of that, all of the flavors is to make it easier for them to begin that process. And there's even been studies done that said that most of the children that start to smoke, they start by smoking menthols first. And menthol flavored cigarettes are readily available and accessible within African American communities. So this is part of the reason that they really want to try and make sure that we are getting this information into the communities. And thankful for the households of faith and now the other organizations within the community for allowing us to get this message out.
And Rochelle, I have a question because I was doing some reading and I saw menthol flavors. I never knew what that was. Can you explain what that is?
The flavoring, and then I'll go back to something that we alluded to. The flavoring is utilized to try it kind of conceals some of the harshness, I guess, of just that's the best way for me to kind of describe it for you. And it conceals the tasting when you're actually smoking, and it helps to make it easier for them to inhale and exhale as it were in the smoking process. So that's why it's a cigarette, or it's a flavor of choice when people are beginning to use beginning the smoking process. So this is why, when you see a lot of the questions or a lot of the advocacy, so to speak, about the menthol ban, this is one of the reasons that they're wanting to get it particularly put out in the African American community.
And you're right. Once I say this, I'll let you proceed. But my grandfather smoked, and I had
Mhm.
about maybe 8 or 9 years old, and I said, I'm gonna try. So I snuck around to the back of the house, and the taste alone, I said, I just knew it wasn't for me. But if
Mhm.
they're making it, like you said, with all these flavors, then it's making it easier for them to start. But like you said, harder to quit. So
Absolutely,
I get it.
absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
And you'll see that, and within one of the kits that people are able to download, and we'll talk about that a little bit in a moment, you'll see some of the just the talking points. And I'll just give you some of the facts that they had. They have down that 85% of most African American smokers smoke menthol cigarettes, and that's 85% of them. So this is why we really like to do that. And again, like we said, with lung cancer being the number one cause of cancer related deaths, there's that direct link. So, and 47,000 people per year is a high number. A high number for African American community to experience death based off of smoking alone. Now I want to get to this part. How can you host a no menthol event. Like we said last year, due to the COVID-19 pandemic and that kind of thing, we were able to begin to do this on a virtual platform. So that allowed us to allow not only churches, but like I said, businesses and anyone else who would like to host this event, they can do so. Right now, our in-person event registration has been closed simply because they have to try to get things mailed out to those who choose to host an in-person event. However, if they would like to still register and are interested in hosting one virtually, that is still available. There is a direct link, and we can make sure I get that back to you so that should anyone have questions about it, they can certainly still register now all the way up to the 15th. And that will allow them the opportunity to just simply download the 2021 toolkit. And as you've seen for yourself, it is loaded with all kind of things, from social media tags, social graphics that you can use. There are even audio files, there are commercials, there are radio files that you can use, all types of media promotions and that kind of thing, just for educational purposes. Also, there are everything you would need to host a successful event for pastors, first ladies, even just health and wellness ministries within the churches. If there is a contact or someone at a church and you know that this is something that you would be able to do, just we would encourage you. We realize that there are churches right now that are still not holding in-person services, and that's perfectly fine. You can utilize this opportunity to post some of those graphics on your web pages, on your Facebook pages, or whatever. Some of you all are hosting live services over Facebook or other platforms, that kind of thing. We encourage you within that toolkit. There's everything you would need, from speaker's notes all the way down to sermon notes for the pastor that he can use just to encourage people to to help to spread the word in this, but also to encourage those who may be current smokers. I realize sometimes in household of faith we don't want to talk about that, but it happens. It happens. There are people that BC, we like to call it, before Christ, in their life, and even AC, after Christ, still suffer with that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we realize that that is something that people still deal with, and there are many people that would like to stop smoking, and as a result of that, we also have what we call a pledge. There's a pledge to look, I'm gonna commit to try and stop smoking for as little as one day. There's an additional opportunity. I'll try and stop smoking for 3 days. And it doesn't leave them out there alone. We have a quit line. Each state actually has access to a quit line. And by utilizing that quit line, they'll get support and that kind of thing to help them along the journey with that. And this is really part of the where the theme originated, a new day. And you'll notice even within the speaker's notes and the sermon notes, they actually allude to the fact that there are new mercies given every day. So if you fall down, you can get back up again. But the overall goal, we want to see everyone healthy, and we want to see everyone able to achieve that goal and be tobacco free, which is another opportunity for churches to take that pledge. Like I said, we don't often like to talk about it, but we do realize that there was even a need to put a pledge in there for some church grounds to say, hey, this is a tobacco-free ground. We talk about holy ground and all of this, but some of them have actually taken the pledge to say, this is a tobacco-free ground. So all of these things will be available for usage through the downloadable toolkit. And when can I host a no menthol event? Of course, like I've mentioned before, this coming Sunday is an International Observance Day. But really, whenever your organization would like to host this event, because by us saying we're going to do it this coming Sunday on the 16th, well, there are some churches we realize that are only meeting once a month still. There are some churches that are meeting only twice a month. So if your church is open to hosting one, in June, that's still fine. We would love to have you to join us and sign up. And once they actually go to that, to the registration link, they can let us know, well, yes, we are interested in doing it, and get that information. And it'll kind of give us an opportunity to find out when you did host it, and how did you observe it, and that kind of thing. Also, we just like to let you know that throughout the year, we promote no menthol usage, no smoking. And why is that? We talked about this on many of the times I've been here, just realizing your risk factors. We always try to bring everything and loop it back around to just making sure that we understand those cancer guidelines and cancer screenings. And that's because of the risk factors that are involved. Again, there are some risk factors that we cannot change. Then there are some risk factors that we can change. Those that we cannot change include things like your age and your race, and then your biological sex. You were born, simply by being born a woman, that can increase the chances of breast cancer over that of being born male. So, these are the risk factors that we can do nothing about. But then those that we can, again, include your diet, exercise, and physical activity, the vaccines, and the smoking. Again, that's why we're linking these risk factors back to this No Menthol Sunday initiative that we're doing. Smoking is one of those things that we can do. We can, once you stop smoking, if by doing that, that lowers your chances, that lowers your risk factors of obtaining cancer and or many other chronic illnesses such as diabetes, hypertension, and cardiovascular issues and that kind of thing. So we definitely want to always encourage you to remember those risk factors, and like we said, linking it back to the No Menthol Sunday initiative, that of smoking. So I just want to always encourage you about that. And of course, your screenings, getting your screenings, that's going to be a way that you can lower your risk factors. And again, here are those lifestyle modifications, and that's going to be addressing your obesity, diet, exercise, and the tobacco. So these are things that you just want to always keep in mind when you're lowering your risk factors. And again, right before I get ready to end, we just want to go back and just kind of recap some of the things that we did talk about from the Women's Health Month, just understanding about the cervical cancer prevention through the HPV and the Pap test, also your mammogram, and just remembering that cervical and colorectal cancers are preventable. And then about the brain and multiple myeloma, there's not necessarily a standard screening available for those two, but this is brain tumor awareness month, and wanted to make sure that once you do schedule those screenings, that you do go and let him know, and also let him know if there's been any family history of brain tumors within your family. For breast cancer, getting your mammogram, the low dose CT is what's utilized for lung cancer treatment. And of course, we talked about how smoking is directly linked to nearly 80% of lung cancer diagnoses and incidences. And I always want to throw that in there for the men. Men's Health Month is coming up next month, so you'll be hearing a lot about that. One of our partners with the Mike Sly Foundation, they're getting ready to host the Mike Sly 5K. I think it's virtual this year, but we're also going to be launching some wonderful, wonderful initiatives with them, where we're going to we'll be training some leaders that they will go around and host some small group settings for men. Realize men not quite like women in a lot of things, where they may not openly talk about some things like women will get together and just kind of share. So understanding that, we've had several focus groups, and within those focus groups, they discuss the fact of how men like to talk among themselves, that kind of thing. So we taken heed to that advice, and I even had prostate cancer survivors within that focus group, and they've given some wonderful feedback. So we'll be launching some of those sessions out. We'll definitely keep you in the loop on that, so that we would love to see if you guys would be able to host something like that, and just get that information out, specifically within the African American community, because those males are their rate, it is much higher and disproportionately higher diagnoses in prostate cancer. So we'll definitely be getting with you on that. And one last thing, also, of course, in the month of June, we'll celebrate Juneteenth. And through the FDA, they have an initiative going on through the Oncology Center of Excellence. It's called the National Black Family Cancer Awareness Week. And this is an initiative that'll take place June 17th through the 23rd. And in that week, they've entitled their thing for this year called Engaging Generations. And it's just simply where they want to have everyone to talk about just their family history, just talking about it in general and allowing that conversation to, and they're centering this around, like I said, Juneteenth month, because they realize that some people will be doing family reunions and that type of thing. And they're simply wanting to encourage everyone to talk about their family history, talk about those family cancers and that kind of thing that may have be going on in their families. And some people just didn't even know. And, it could be very much helpful to know what's happening in your family and that kind of thing. And it's just a conversation that needs to happen. So I'll tell you more about that. And that, like I said, that'll be taking place June 17th through June the 23rd. And they encourage really any type of innovative ideas to talk with your family about your family medical history. So we'll get back with you on that. I've gone on into June now. So as you can see, we've been very busy, and that's why I'm working here in the office today to get some things out to you. But I am so appreciative for this opportunity to come and share these tidbits with you, and hopefully get some other people that may be interested in signing up for No Menthol Sunday.
Yeah. No, thank you, Miss Rochelle. I want to touch on everything that you just said. So I like that engaging generations. That's going to be June 17th through 23rd. I think that is so important. I know my husband and I, we've actually sat down with our children and said, listen, this is what runs in your family. Because if we don't know, for example, that breast cancer runs in my family, my daughter won't know to get tested early. She'll wait till she's 40, and then she could have been tested earlier had she known
Absolutely.
that it runs in our family. So we are very much interested in that. We're interested in the Men's Awareness Month. We're actually hosting or having a Men's Awareness Summit. We have about 5 or 6 speakers. It's going to be virtual on a Saturday, but we are very interested in having you come on maybe one Wednesday in June and kind of talk about that. I remember, and this is just kind of 2 personal experiences. My grandfather, he was a smoker. Of course, I used to hide his cigarettes as a little girl, but he kept coughing and having this nagging cough and would never go to the doctor for it. And so, of course, when he did go and they opened him up, he had lung cancer and it was too far gone so that they could not do anything about it. Even my great grandfather, same thing. He didn't know he was actually, back in the day, they just kind of, the men urinated while they were, doing their farm or whatever. And one of his friends said, hey, man, that don't look right. And so basically went to the doctor. He had prostate cancer and then it was too late. And so I think it's good that we, really approach our men. And not all men are like that. My husband be quick to go to the doctor. He would be quick to go. But all men are not like that. But some are just kind of, well, I'm okay. I'll take some Tylenol. It ain't nothing, and kind of maybe brush it off. But I think it's really important for men to make sure they're getting their physicals and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do as far as being aware of their health. So we are very interested in having you or a contact because I know we wear you out one Wednesday in the month of June.
Oh, absolutely. We'll work on that. We'll get it worked out.
Yeah, okay. And then I want to ask you about, as far as No Menthol Sunday, is vaping, I know it's considered a newer phenomenon than cigarettes. Is vaping also considered one of those menthol type instruments?
Yeah, look, all of it, all of the smoking period, it's not good for you. I know people have said, well, there's no nicotine, there's no, but tobacco in any form is still, we just don't encourage that. It can lead still to dangerous and disastrous outcomes for you. So yes, ma'am, that is still in that same category, that we do not want to encourage that in any form. And the sooner we can get that, because you realize that the vaping and the e-cigarettes and that kind of thing is, just in an effort to try to get people at an even younger age involved in smoking. So no, ma'am, we don't encourage that. And it's still going to have the detrimental effects that smoking with menthol would.
Okay. And then let me ask you, with some of the effects of smoking, I know you talked about, diabetes and hypertension and cardiovascular disease. We know it can cause lung cancer. Are there any other side effects from the menthol that people, just kind of brush off to the side, or, uh, I'm okay. I just get my screens. Is there anything else that they should be aware of or look out for?
I'm gonna honestly tell you, I am not sure of all of those. Our focus here, of course, in the cancer center, we always deal with those that will lead directly to cancer. There are other things, but still, I think that cancer is going to be the primary thing. There are different types of cancer. Of course, you have the oral type cancers, the throat cancer, and all of those. So with those, and then there are other, of course, like the COPDs and the other lung and breathing related issues that can come along with it, that are not, of course, cancer, but it's, look, we don't want any of it. And if
Right.
that's a risk factor that we can lose, we definitely just want to encourage them. And like I said, not to just leave them out there on their own, to let them know that there is help available. So we and I want to make sure that we stress that, like with the help that's available through the Alabama Quit lines and that kind of thing. And I can get that information over to you so that you can actually put it out.
Okay, yeah, please, because I'm going to probably tweet a little bit about this information. And then one other question I had, I know that the tobacco industry is a lucrative business. I don't have the stats on that. But is there anything that we can do on a community level as far as getting bills passed, or is that even an option? I saw some states, they may ban it, let's say, ban the sale on Sundays, or they can no longer put it in vending machines or something. But is there something on a community level we can do to get a bill passed, to get something on the ballot to try to forego or try to get rid of or even lessen people using menthol?
Now you raise a $1 million question, and I'm going to tell you our position here, of course, right? Our position here, at UAB, there are certain stances that we have to stand, and we are not allowed in certain areas to participate. But there is an entire, within that download, there's an entire area section where they encourage you, give you all types of information that you can get involved in that as an individual organization. And like we said, they did experience one great victory here recently with the approval of the FDA ban on menthol. The thing about it is, that's not something that'll happen tomorrow. It's
Right.
going to be a process. However, they were very grateful for having that victory, because, they said for those that, by them banning that menthol and by it not happening tomorrow, now you got people that are caught right here in between. That's going to take, not a day, not 2 days, not maybe even, a few months or whatever to get off of it. So before that ban is completed, there are people that are going to go through those steps and actually quitting the smoking process. But you raised a wonderful question, and to answer that, yes, there are some steps that every community, organization, church, that they can get involved. We actually meet on a regular basis when they're planning these initiatives on an annual basis, and it's amazing what some of the areas are doing. Some areas, even statewide or citywide through their mayor or whatever, they've had initiatives where they have actually gone and allowed people talk with businesses, and they agreed, hey, on this day we won't sell menthol. And they actually passed it and did it. And even in the midst of a pandemic where many businesses were failing, and we had one of the ladies, I think in Wisconsin, to let us know that they thought, well, businesses were already struggling, and to tell them to stop sales of any sort on any day, that it wouldn't happen, but they did. They actually did. So you raised wonderful questions on that, and absolutely, yes, you'll be able to find much of that information within a toolkit. And you and I, we can talk offline if necessary to help point you to additional assistance with that.
Okay, sounds good. And then one other question I thought about, secondhand smoke, is that the same as actually, because some people say, you know what, I don't smoke, but then maybe you live in a house with someone who does smoke. So am I also susceptible to the menthol if I'm in the house or in the vicinity of somebody who is smoking?
Well, secondhand smoke in general is still not good, period, whether it's a menthol cigarette or not. Secondhand smoke is secondhand smoke. And yes, they're different. We have, and I don't want to put a figure out there because I'm not exactly sure of it right now, but the diagnoses of those people with lung cancer who have never smoked is still rather high, and that could be from secondhand smoke. Then there, all kind of other things, especially when it relates to lung cancer. There are things such as environmental factors that can affect a person's rate of diagnoses with lung cancer. Radon can just be in your house, things like that. And like we said, environmental factors such as where you live. Risk factors can include that. They can include where you live, of course, who you live with, if you live with a smoker, where you work, that kind of thing, and the tendencies and all of that. So yes, that's a great question. But yes, like I said, whether it's a menthol cigarette or not, it's still, secondhand smoke is still very dangerous.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you so much, Miss Rochelle. Before you go, I'm going to go through a couple announcements,
Okay.
but we also just want to thank you so much for your time. And so once I do these, we'll come back to you in just a second. So everyone, just want to thank you for joining us today for this segment of Winning Wednesday. We had Miss Rochelle Wallace of the UAB of Birmingham, Alabama, from the O'Neill Comprehensive Cancer Center. And she gave us some great information on No Menthol Sunday and No Menthol and what that means. Don't forget, you can follow us and look at all this information on YouTube under BHAM BC. Please hit the subscribe button. And we are also on Twitter under James Mason 1. Next Wednesday, we have Miss Valerie Wilson, and she is going to be talking about stress management. This month is also stress management month. I think every month has to do either with stress or self-care. I've been kind of noticing that on the national calendar, but all of us are under stress, because of COVID and other things. And so Miss Val Wilson, she is the owner of Refined Mental Health and Wellness. And so she's going to be on next Wednesday at 12 noon. People, don't forget, we have our small group that is every Thursday at 7. Listen, to help you with your no menthol, to help you with your commitment to not smoke and not vape. This is a great small group time that we spend together. It's very confident. No one is spreading anyone's business, but it helps you to kind of overcome and help your habits, your hurts, or your hangups. And so that is going to be tomorrow at 7 o'clock p.m. You can text me or you can email at ladypam@tcowi.org to give you that Zoom ID information. And then congratulations to all of our graduates for the class of 2021. You did the doggone thing. And so we are so happy and excited for you. So we have Miss Katrina Brown, who's going to speak a word to our graduates and all of our students on May 22nd at 11 o'clock a.m. This is going to be shown on Facebook Live. However, we want our graduates and our students to be there in attendance to get all this great information. So please contact us as well. You can email ladypam@tcowi.org. And then for our couples, it is Date Your Mate Month. And so we want to have some fun. We're going to have Battle of the Sexes. That is going to be May 28th at 7 o'clock p.m. That is on a Friday. Of course, if you want to register, this is going to be a private event. Please contact Lady Pam at tcowi.org. And then, of course, please join us every Sunday at 11 o'clock a.m. Pastor Mesa is doing a great and wonderful series on the church that Jesus built. The church that Jesus built is he is laying it out. Is some great information. And so you want to please make sure you are watching that every Sunday at 11 o'clock a.m. We have our prayer call every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 a.m. That number is 515-604-9324, and the access code is 381179. And then every first Sunday of the month, we are having our drive-up worship service. We have a great time of fellowship, great time of fun. We are social distance, and we are wearing masks. Virtual hugs, of course, are needed. And so we also give out free diapers on that Sunday. So of course, if you would like to participate, be a part of it, it's every first Sunday of the month at 10 a.m. in the parking lot of the MLK Center, and the address is 529 43rd Street North in Birmingham, Alabama. And then we are having our virtual business expo on June the 13th. That is on a Sunday immediately after worship service. So if anyone has a business, if you know someone that has a business, please contact myself so that we can get you plugged in. We're taking the first 10 spots of people who are interested. Of course, the email again is ladypam@tcowi.org. And then as always, thank you for the way you support Birmingham Bible Church. We have Compassionate International Children that we have sponsored. We now have a new child. We had 10, we now have 11. His name is Boris, and just thank you so much for how you give towards that. Your donations help with their food, their medical supplies, their emotional needs, their counseling needs, their physical growth, and what have you. Thank you so much for giving towards our land, our future for Birmingham Bible Church, and also the food boxes that we give out every month on a monthly basis to those who are in need. We are up to 40 boxes now for people who have contacted us and say, hey, I need to get a box. And so thank you so much for that, guys. And we hope you have an awesome week. And Miss Rochelle, just want to thank you so much for giving us this great information. Guys, you heard it from her. She's given us the go-ahead. She's given us so much information about vaping, why we should stop smoking, the effects of it. And listen, if you want to join in the pledge, you want to do your part, you want to say, hey, I'm going to stop this, if you want a short-term goal and say, hey, I'm going to stop for a week, do what you can. And also Birmingham Bible Church is willing to help you in that. And also the Cancer Center, the O'Neill Comprehensive Cancer Center is willing to help you in that as well. And so thank you so much, Miss Rochelle. Is there any other closing remarks that you have for our viewers on today?
Just want to thank you again. As always, we certainly appreciate the opportunity to come and share with you guys. And also wanted to let you know that there are many times when I come to you on these monthly health awareness focuses, there are also local projects that we have. There may be screening opportunities and that kind of thing. And one of them in particular is our ALK screening initiative. That project is still open. And really, if you are 55 years of age or older and you are either a current or former smoker, there are some opportunities available where they will give some assessments if you will participate in this particular project. So please feel free to reach out to us at coeinfo@uab.edu. And again, that project is called the ALCASE project. And just let us know. Again, if you're 55 years of age or older, or you are a current or a former smoker, specifically if you've had a 3-pack a day or more smoking habit, this is something that they are actively studying and doing research, and screening assessments are possible, not necessarily for everyone, but they are certainly possible, and can help you get navigated through to what's we call a low dose CT screening, and that's what's necessary in diagnosing lung disease, lung cancer.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Yes, please send me all that information and we'll get it out to on our social media pages. So thank you so much, Miss Rochelle. And
Okay, thank you for having me.
yes, ma'am, you're welcome. And thank you everyone for joining us. This is ending our segment of our Winning Wednesday on today. And we will see you, of course, on Sunday, but we'll see you again next Wednesday at the same time. Thank you so much, Miss Rochelle.
Thank you, and you have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.